All right, we are ready. It's great to see Fili back in competition once again.
Yeah, regardless of how many years it's been, so it's gonna be fun. Definitely a fun time.
Now, has he played since Pendulum Monsters were released?
I'm sure he has. I think I've seen him at least a couple tournaments since then.
Okay, so he should have an idea at least of how the basic cards
And luckily,
work.
Mermail's one of those decks that hasn't changed that much. You know, it's still just trying to do the same general thing. It's all about like efficiently using your cards. You know, comboing with the right things, and
it's one of those
once you learn
decks
how
like
to swim, you
Abyss
just keep on swimming.
Forever.
So yeah, that's a good one. Oh, and his hand looks great too. His 10 Goldfish and Aqua Spirit with an Abyss Pike and Abyss Tooth already.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You can just start with Abyss Tooth, discarding the Abyss Pike, make sure he gets another either Pike or Turge, depending on what he plays, set up that Gunt. But it looks like he's going second. Ooh.
All right. Manfred is up first. Starts with Terraforming to get Sky Iris, and that's the new foil version.
Ooh, yeah, that looks.
From
Sky Iris is just such a powerful
OTS pack.
card.
OTS pack 1?
Yep. Same thing as we get Ultimate Swap Frog and Ultimate Terratop. Those ones?
Yep. And that's in the new OTS pack. Has Swap Frog and Terratop.
Oh, that's OTS 1. Okay, so the OTS 2.
This is OTS 3. So activates Kieran, destroys it with Sky Iris. Pretty good start if you can scale Kieran and then destroy it.
Yeah,
for another
I mean, anytime you find Kieran, you're probably in a good spot. Sky Iris is just such a powerful card because it mimics the same thing the Milfos do, same thing that Performer Pal Pendulum Sorcerer did, where destroying your own Pendulum cards is never really that bad if you can just bring them back. So it's just a way to, like, even though it seems like you're destroying a card to find another card, in actuality you're just getting another card practically for free because you can always bring back whatever Pendulum you destroy.
And the card he chose was Performer Pal Odd Eyes Light Phoenix.
Yep.
Goes with Scale 4 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Scale 8 Dragon Pit Magician. It's a normal Pendulum monster that has a useful monster effect.
Yep. Fuses them away immediately after. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon.
Pendulum summons, then Fusion summons Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is a really good monster.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one.
Let's go ahead and bring that up.
There's a few monsters I would trade a Kieran for. Odd Eyes Vortex might be one.
It's not like that Kieran's gone forever.
Exactly, then that's probably a big reason why it's okay doing that there.
So, the first effect of Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, not really happening here. However, the second effect that can negate a spell or trap card or a monster's effect.
I'll get with the mind.
Sure. Then he moves the end phase, activates his Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon's effect, destroys itself to get Wisdom Mind Magician to his hand.
That's a very strong opening turn.
Yep.
And Fili's got a big pile of monsters, and it looks like he picked up Neptibus.
Yeah, big pile of monsters, though, is exactly what Mermail wants. They're one of those decks that function where a lot of their monsters are very similar to spells. You know, they just do a lot of extra things and special summon themselves, so you can always pitch
really
them for
has
something.
2 normal summons.
Yep.
Special effect.
Goes for Abystius.
Yep,
Abystius is summoned.
Might get negated
he's
here.
thinking of using the negation here.
Yeah, I don't.
That is a once per turn.
Yeah, that's definitely what you're supposed to negate because that's just straight +2, right? No, didn't lose anything. Got rid of 2 of his opponent's card. Now his opponent only has 4 cards left.
Well, you're about to find out if that was
in terms of economy, it's a good trade.
I know if you would have.
In terms of the actual impact on the duel, though, well, 10 Goldfish can only summon a level 4 monster.
Yes, so that also makes it so now he can't 10 Goldfish into a Pike to use Turge and, use Biscun and do all those things that he was playing to before. But he can.
There's a lot of plays left here.
Yeah, he can still send a Dragoons to find a Megalo, and that kind of unlocks his hand again. But because he uses normal summon on that Neptibus, he can't normal summon the 10 Goldfish. But he can still do something with Aqua Spirit.
Yeah, he doesn't need to because he's got the gun still to discard to get back Pike.
Yes. Can he also, he might be able to also set him a Moulin Glacia, really seal the deal.
Moulin Glacia taking out the Wisdom Eye Magician would be pretty big.
Yep. But I don't even know if he can afford to discard. It just depends what he's discarding here because he wants to discard Dragoons. Yep.
Dragoons and Gund. Here comes this Megalo.
I had forgotten that the Pike was already in the graveyard.
Yeah, he pitched that for TS.
Yeah, so it's not even a hard decision at all. And yeah, so he can also get Moulin Glacier here and then use the, oh man.
And he gets the equip spell as well.
Yeah, it might just be game over.
I know all about this. This happened to me a lot on Thanksgiving.
Oh, does he not use Moon Glacia? There was no Moon Glacia on his deck. Crazy.
That's not super shocking to me.
Really?
Because at least when I played Moon Glacia, I would always just, I've got Moon Glacia, I can't play it.
Yeah, but I just feel like that card, it's so powerful because you can search it exactly in this sort of situation, knock out 2 cards, and then when it's not that good, you just discard it for any water monster. You know, you get to discard it for Abystius, Abyss Megalo, Abyss Pike. This obviously isn't bad either, though. I also completely forgot that when you tribute Neptibus, you get to bring back an Atlantean, which means you get to really abuse Atlantean Dragoons. Oh, this is so powerful.
Yeah.
But now he can't attack for the rest of the turn, right?
He can't attack with Bahamut Shark. He can attack with the Toad. He'll get 2 attacks at 3,200 each.
Yeah. I mean, he mostly wants the search, too, right? Like,
and he gets another search.
Yeah. Yep. And just
heavy infantry.
It's
going to
be so much damage. Yep. I think it was enough even without, like, because he just had another Megalo, right? How much defense does Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon have?
3,000.
Oh, so he needed the heavy infantry.
I mean, the defense of something that's not on the field is not there.
Yes.
And he doesn't even need to really get rid of it because he gets 800 points off the equip.
I forgot. That's just, he's totally awesome. Just making sure nothing can go wrong.
It's just play everything. Why not? 5 billion damage. Slightly more than 4.8 billion damage.
Yeah. See, that's why this version, a lot of people have strayed away from this version of Mermail because of, you know, the double Bahamut Shark combo with the Bissocia like we were talking about before. It's so good going first. But this is a big reason why this deck is so good. It's like going first is so important in this format that maybe you really want to be playing a deck that's really good going second. So try to tear apart your opponent's field and just end the game before they have another chance.
And that is exactly what he's got here.
Yeah.
Like, that was just a masterclass in how you're supposed to play that deck. So it doesn't seem to me like he's lost a beat.
No,
he's definitely still a very sharp competitor.
Yep, definitely. The only issue I have with this version of Mermail is it feels much weaker to ABC than a lot of other decks because, like, when they tag out with the when they tribute the Buster Dragon to get back the 3 ABCs and equip another one, they just have 3 more defenders. You know what I mean? And, like, you can also get C on your equip. So then you can special summon another guy from your hand, so it's another monster they have to go through. So it seems like it would be really hard to beat that sort of field, but I've definitely been on the losing end of that exact situation where I make my huge field, you know, I have 3-4 monsters, one's protected. There's no way I'm losing. Megalo still deals way more than enough damage through all of that to beat me.
He really does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the scary thing with this deck, though, is even if you tag out to ABC, or to the ABC pieces, you have to then sacrifice at least one of their effects and just not use it because the Toad can take it.
Yes.
And you might just be out the letter that you need to even have a follow-up play in that case. And I do note that he is main decking Gamma Seal, which is both an Aqua and a Kaiju.
Yep. It just fills every role he wants. It's an Aqua, so you contribute it for... it's an Aqua, not a Sea Serpent? Or
Gamma Seal's an Aqua.
Crazy. So, yeah, so you contribute for Totally Awesome. You can also just discard it because it's a water to any of the other Mermail cards that want it in the grave. It's also just Gamma Seal. The only problem I have with the Gamma Seal is just that how poorly positioned it can be against ABC sometimes if they choose to tribute during your draw phase to make sure to play around it. But if they don't respect Gamma Seal, the game is basically over if you can Gamma Seal their Buster Dragon. So I like that.
Also notable is that Abystius is an Aqua, not a Sea Serpent.
Yep.
So that's more ways that you can keep the Toad on the field instead of having to immediately sack itself to negate something.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of Aquas, actually. Abystius, Abyss Gun should be an Aqua, too.
Yeah,
all
the
the Atlanteans
are Aquas.
Negating also,
the Atlanteans are Sea Serpents, but the tiny Mermails, the 3s are Aqua, the 4s are Fish, 7s are Serpents. All right, so let's see what Silva might be able to do about this. Well, he's got Rivalry of Warlords.
First one that I go to. Effect Veiler is very, very good against this version of Mermail. Stopping
Tin Goldfish in particular.
Tin Goldfish and Abyss Megalo. It's a big one,
to stop the search and the double attacker.
Yeah, be able to. It just turns them off for a whole turn, and it gives you a chance to sort of take back a game because once they commit to a Megalo, it's really hard for them to do more, right? Because it just costs a lot of cards for them to do it. It also has Soul Drain. Haven't seen that one in a while. Solemn Strike, also a great one. It seems like he actually has a bunch of good cards.
And he's got the traps that he already has.
Yeah, Majesty's Fiend.
So if he can get enough of them.
He has at least 1, 2, 3,
Got a Morphage Sloth. I don't know if that helps here.
Yeah, probably not too. There's a Boombuku in his side deck as well. This side deck's pretty cool.
Oh, because he's running one main decked.
Yeah.
When
do you slot in the second one? That's a good question. But yeah, no, he has cards like Effect Veiler, he has Majesty's Fiend, Mist Valley, Apex Avian. Like, a lot of these cards are really good against Mermail. Psalm Strike, Soul Drain. But it's just like, is it enough, right? Like, Mermail's so good at going through your back row. Psalm Strike is very, very strong against this version of Mermail because you can always, hit Abystius and the card they discard, so usually they lose out on a bunch, especially if it's not an Atlantean. Because a lot of the time they don't want to be discarding Atlanteans, right? They want to be discarding like an Abyss Pike or something to get back with Abyss Gun. Like, they're trying to set up their combos.
Yeah, it depends a lot on what the opening hand is.
Yeah.
How you sculpt it into what you actually want.
Oh, yeah, because if any time they draw Dragoons, they're just going to ditch that instead to find Megalo, and then Megalo can put whatever pieces you need to the graveyard.
So Silva starts off with Sky Iris again. His opening hand looks very similar to the last one, except he's got Pendulum Sorcerer, Performer Pal.
Yeah.
Twin Twister is not super great. Searches for Odd Eyes Light Phoenix.
Destroying Kieran looks a lot like last game.
And he gets the Phoenix once again. This time it's once again joined by Dragon Pit Magician.
Yep, the difference is now Pendulum Sorcerer instead of the Odd Eyes.
Yeah, that's a bunch of free cards. Destroys both Light Phoenix and Dragon Pit Magician. All right. Perform Pal Pendulum Sorcerer destroyed 2 cards, so he gets 2 Perform Pal searches. He gets Lizard Draw and Guitardle. That's that classic combo from the old Performer Pal Performage days. Interesting, there's a lot more Performer Pals in this deck than I really gave it credit for. Activates Guitardle, activates Lizard Draw, so he's going to get 1 draw from activating and resolving Guitardle, and then he can destroy the Lizard Draw to get another one, and he's finally gotten to a Solemn. Going to set 2 face down, and we'll see if how big of a difference that Solemn makes. And the other good thing about this opening here is that this time he got to keep the Kieran on the field. And if your opponent is forced to just normal summon Neptibus or something like that, you can just spring the Kieran immediately and pretty much end their turn. Fili Luna's up. He's got a couple of Abyss Pikes. He's got Tin Goldfish, Atlantean Dragoons, Atlantean Heavy Infantry. Fairy Wind.
I'm a big fan of that card. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Summons the Goldfish. And this is where the strike could be pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh, he allows it. Goes for Pike. But Pike does get a chance to activate first.
Chainlink 1, yeah.
So it would actually be Chainlink 1 Pike, Chainlink 2.
And he's going to do it. He's going to discard that Dragoons. Pendulum Sorcerer back to the hand. Pike also back to the hand. You know, I don't know that putting Abyss Pike back in the hand is a good thing here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. I think that Silva, what he tried to do there was disrupt the Pike, thinking that it was just, once per turn effect, not
effect, yeah.
Yeah, but he's going to get punished for it pretty bad.
All right. But he did get to keep his strike. And Fili could be throwing a bunch of cards into a Solemn Strike.
It can be targeted or destroyed by card effects.
By your opponent's card effects.
Takes a very careful read of Magispector Kieran.
Yeah.
You cannot target it or destroy it.
Do you think there's
a
Pendulum Monster more impactful right now than Magispector Kieran?
Probably not.
Yeah, he just seems like the absolute best thing Pendulums want to do.
Second place is any card that searches for Magispector Kieran.
Yeah, easily, right?
And third would be probably Metal Foe's Bismugear.
I could see that.
It's that or the one Luster
What about,
Pendulum.
would you put Nekomata in that second category, or because he's something that searches for Kieran a little bit later, he gets a step down under Babuku?
I kind of consider a lot of them
all those just
like
in
the
same thing.
card.
Yeah, because they're effectively all Kieran eventually.
Discards 2, including the Abyss Pike for Megalo. Presumably that's what got Solemned here. It didn't. He must have messed around with the chain links there.
Yeah.
But it's shocking to me that the Megalo was allowed to be summoned, that he didn't just solemn the summoning effect
Yeah,
of
this
it.
might seem like a case of Silva just not knowing exactly when and how to respond against Mermail cards.
Swing. Take 400. Swing. So you take 28.
But what did he protect then? Did he protect his other face down?
And then
Setting fair when I like that. Fili's trying to play around. That's interesting. I'm surprised he didn't equip. Oh, geez.
Yeah, because equipping it would solve all of this.
Yeah. Well, no, if he would have equipped it, I think he was trying not to fairy wind his own card. And that's why he did that. And then he even played around Twin Twister at the end, which was obviously great. But, yeah, I don't know if it wasn't better just to equip right there and attack twice, because your opponent's forced to play a spell first, right? It could be a scale or whatever. You get to deal with it with Mizuchi. And then when they commit another card, then you fairy wind them. Because, like, the Mizuchi is obviously going to go down before fairy wind can, you know, get a chance to do its thing. Or what's likely to, based on the sequencing. So I don't know. And you can't even get punished that bad by Twin Twister there because the Mizuchi would just negate it. But I guess in response to Mizuchi, they can Twin Twister.
Oh, yeah, I think that's why you play it first and get the extra damage in on Kieran when you have the chance.
Skill?
sure.
Activates Perform Pal on Ice Unicorn, scale 8, and Sorcerer, which is scale, I don't know, because Perform Pal Pendulum Sorcerer doesn't wind up in the Pendulum Zone very often. He's always getting summoned.
I believe it's a 2.
I believe that. It's one of those squiggly numbers. And a big pile of monsters comes back.
That Twin Twister was.
Yeah. Trying to do the math of like.
That is Odd Eyes Phoenix, Dragon Pit Magician,
Lizard draw.
Lizard Draw, Kieran.
Can I disrespect your current effect?
Sure.
Turn this to my hand. Bounce.
Okay.
On Ice Pendulum Dragon.
Odd Eyes Pendulum
Activates
Dragon.
Is this enough damage just to end it?
Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon.
Okay.
Attack. Perform Power Unicorn.
That would be crazy if you just won the duel like this.
Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon.
I guess his opening was pretty strong with Kieran and Perform Pal Pendulum Sorcerer, so like you can't shock him too bad. But
Yeah, I don't think you can open that well twice in a row and lose both games. It just doesn't happen very often.
yeah,
And then I add its attack to.
I don't know. I think Fili might have had this if he activated his Abyss
He
Scale.
activated the Mizuchi first.
Yeah, I can understand why he didn't. You know what I mean? Because it was just really like, oh, I just don't want to lose. It's a very old card mentality, right? I don't want to lose out one of my cards to my own Fairy Wind. But
Well, the other thing is, like, does he really think that Twin Twister's coming in against Mermails, the deck that has exactly
yeah,
one
that's another
card?
huge thing. You're definitely right.
It might just be that he got completely surprised by it.
Yeah, no, I don't even. I think it's less Twin Twister and more that he just didn't want to destroy his own card with Fairy Wind. Because, like, Twin Twister was the consideration at the very end as to why he doesn't want to set the second copy, right? The second card. But yeah, no, that's just
And that
it.
is enough damage because of the Unicorn effect.
Oh, yeah.
It lets the Odd Eyes monster gain the attack points of something else, Performer Pal. Or possibly vice versa. It is when an Odd Eyes declares an attack, you can target another Performer Pal, and the attacker gains attack equal to the targeted monster.
So it basically lets you attack twice effectively with a monster, right? Because it puts the attack onto another monster.
Yeah.
So it just doubles the damage.
Yeah, it doubles the damage of the other Performer Pal.
Yeah.
And it looks like Fili knows exactly what he's doing, because he finally gets to choose who goes first or second this time.
It's interesting if he wants to be going first or second.
Yeah, I actually don't know what he's going to choose here.
Yeah.
Since he has all those combos to drop Toads, I wouldn't be shocked if he goes first.
No, yeah, exactly. But I also wouldn't be shocked if he goes second. Like, his deck is so good. But it's also another thing. If I'm trying to go first a lot with this deck, I really want Moon and Glacia. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes going first so much better.
It looks like he's taking out a tin goldfish.
And an Abyss
That might be tipping his hand a little bit.
That he's going second.
Yeah. That or he just doesn't want to draw a double tin goldfish.
That could be true, yeah. It's also one of those things, though, where drawing double tin goldfish is not nearly as bad in this deck as is in others, because it's still water you can discard.
Yep.
Tin goldfish can also summon another tin goldfish. Obviously, that's not ideal.
Yeah, I should have just activated the equip. There's no reason not to. Because even if you play one, it negates it, but it would stay, actually.
Yeah, so now Philly's even talking about how he realizes he should have played the equip card, and there wasn't a big reason not to.
Yeah, so you still would have been able to ping it.
Well, key there is to not let that
Yeah,
get in the way of making the
Philly
right
has
play
more
in
than
this
enough
game.
experience where he's not going to let anything that happened, even in the past 5 years of his career, affect what's going on in this match. So
terms of further side decking, I don't know what else there's going to be. I wonder if he put in any traps. If he puts in the anti-spell fragrances.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense too, right? Because of how good that card is against Pendulum decks.
Yep.
You also, yeah, Fairwind's also, it's weird that anti-spell and Fairwind.
Obviously, this is very.
It seems like all of his cards in his side deck, make it seem like he wants to go first.
Yeah.
So maybe his plan is his opponent chooses for him to go first after, and then he sided into this trap deck where he makes, you know, a totally awesome Bahamut Shark, sets a couple strikes,
that would be
calls
clever.
it a day. I like that, though.
That's pretty clever.
It's basically like a transformational side deck, because he's probably bringing in these 3 anti-spells with those strikes. Like against ABC, all he does is make a Bahamut Shark, make totally awesome, set some real traps, and the duel's over.
And we see he's opened up with the anti-spell fragrance.
And Soul Charge. Oh, man.
Is that Neptibus as well?
Yeah,
oh,
this
geez.
is a good one.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man, that Soul Charge is going to break his hand right open, too, because he gets to dump the Dragoons with the Neptibus, so he already has one down. Oh, man, and he gets to search another copy of Dragoons off of Neptibus. So then once he discards the second one, his Soul Charge gets to bring back double Dragoons. Ooh.
That's just nasty.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. That's why this deck is so good, though. Yeah, definitely an oldie but a goodie.
So when we finally reach the heat death of the universe, are the only 2 surviving Yu-Gi-Oh decks going to be Mermails and Burning Abyss?
Maybe Lightsworn has.
Lightsworn might be there too.
Yeah, he's keep on Monarchs for a while. I'll bite less now.
I would blame Lightsworn for causing the destruction of the universe, though. That's Judgment Dragon's fault.
Yep, definitely his
Absolutely.
fault.
Well, you resolve this fully.
And it looks like Manfred has Twin Twisters, though, so they'll be able to get past
The anti-spell.
the anti-spell fragrance.
Yeah, that Twin Twister coming
every
in clutch
time.
for
Every time.
no good reason. Yeah, man, this hand is so good. But no, maybe
it might not matter,
totally
though, because
awesome.
he has the Toad.
Yeah, no, he can just negate it, and then he gets to Twin Twister his
set
opponent
it.
during his turn.
Oh.
Well, it has to be set. Oh, how does that interaction work with the anti-spell? If I take my opponent's Twin Twister and set it to my side of the field,
It has
right?
to be set till
A whole turn?
your next turn.
Oh, so I get to immediately use it during my next turn?
Cannot activate them until their next turn. So if I set it on your turn, I activate it on my next turn, which is
Yeah, so that's
my
just
turn.
the best interaction ever. That is so cool. Oh, man.
All right, so we've got Mermail shenanigans going on.
Yep, Abyss. So Neptibus came down, sent Dragoons, added Dragoons, then the Dragoons trigger getting Megalo, and then he discarded the Dragoons that he'd searched with Abyss Tius to find a Abyss Pike off of the Tius' effect, and then a Deep Sea Diva off of the Dragoons effect.
And he discards Gund and Pike.
Yep.
To summon Megalo.
He's going to get that gun trigger, too. That's
Oh,
that's
and he
real
gets
nice.
the negation from...
Yeah, this is...
It's
His deck is really good going first, even without all the Abyss Osha stuff. But this is also just like one of the better opening for Mermails, right? He had Abyss Tius with Neptibus.
Now, the
but
one
he
thing
hasn't even used Soul Charge.
The one thing he can't do is tribute that Neptibus.
Yeah, he has to Synchro. Does he have Synchro? Oh, no, it's not. The tuner's Deep Sea Diva, not Neptibus, right?
Right.
Yeah. I always get confused there, just because whenever Neptibus comes out, it seems like he's being Synchroed or tributed. Yeah, you can't do that. And that's unfortunate, because the Soul Charge is not that good. Maybe he shouldn't have... I feel like he maybe searched the wrong cards with Abyss Tius. Or like he didn't really need to use Gun there. You know what I mean? Does he have a rank 7?
I'm not sure what the Diva's doing here, but he probably has a rank 7.
Yeah, he has Draco Sack, but that doesn't really...
Oh, is it just Dracosek? He doesn't have Biscayos?
No, there's a Big Eye. I don't see Biscayos. There's a Thousand Eyes Restrict, though. But yeah, no Biscayos, so just Draco Sack is options.
He runs the Soul Charge for
Just
one play.
for one. I mean, I think it's worthwhile. You get a search and you get a totally awesome, but I just think your combo could have been a bit better. Like, maybe the sequencing was a little off. Obviously, his hand's so good, it probably won't matter.
Real talk.
Yeah,
you can't get that much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Than what's happening
But it's just like,
here.
you know, the little finer things like, I don't know, I'm not trying to Soul Charge for one, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to Soul Charge for infinite every time. I guess also like life points, but life points never really matter.
Goes
There we
out and
go.
plays it.
Scale,
Sets its
anti-spell.
fragrance.
Oh man, and then anti-spell's gonna come up. Even if he Twin Twisters, it auto negates with Mizuchi,
Auto
right?
negates.
Yep.
Flips the fragrance, and
Oh,
now Silva's in
jeez.
very deep trouble.
oh man. I haven't been this excited about Mermails in a long time.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm getting so many flashbacks to League Night in the office.
And there it is. Oh, man.
Someone's like, I'm not even bothering with this. I know I can't do anything. And he can't do anything. That's just absolutely brutal. Fili is super pumped that he finally got to go first, and his deck did exactly what it was supposed to, more or less.
I'm
Maybe
really
not
impressed
exactly,
by this deck. I'm really, really impressed.
but very close to peak Mermail right there.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if I had to pick a dark horse deck, yeah,
he did bring in all the traps. He is this. That is so good.
That's great.
Oh man, I'm so excited about this.
All right. Well, that's an excellent display of why that guy's won 4 championships, and I don't think anybody else has.
Nope, no one has. Closest is 3.
Even when he is coming back after a long break, he's just really, really good at seeing how the cards work together and analyzing the trends of how people are thinking, what they're playing right now, and then building his deck to counteract that. And
that's kind of a good thing. That, like, even though he hasn't, it's sort of like if you're good enough to evaluate things on your own, sort of coming in after people have made their own decisions and being unbiased about it, you know, you can lead to decisions like this, like, oh, Mermails are still great going second. Everyone's trying to go first. My deck can be really good going second. And then you just switch it up with all these trap cards. Oh, man, sounds like a recipe for success to me.
A lot of people have tried things like that. Like you've seen Phantom Knight decks with, you know, Gofu, for example, and DDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation, to try to get through it. But that just doesn't have the raw power of, I'm going to destroy everything you play. I've got a 3200, he negates your next spell, and I've got this Toad, and he's sitting on top of another Toad, and he's stealing your stuff all the time while negating it. It's just the other decks just weren't as powerful as this. So that's why we're seeing this one, and maybe the other ones not so much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always excited to see Mermail. Just the power level of some of these cards is so high.
Mermail is one of my favorites.
I played so much.
I like Mermails, and the players really like Mermails too. It's why we just kept making them.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see. He uses. Does he use Gen X cards? No, right?
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
That I never got. I never really liked the Gen X stuff.
Yeah,
but
I feel like in the very beginning,
I
think it was necessary. You know, before we got all like Abystius and the additional Mermail monsters, like you just needed something to fill out your deck, right? But no, I agree that it's not the best, especially that 1/1 line. Like I didn't like that either.
Well, let's. That's what we have to say about it. But let's see what Fili Luna himself has to say about his deck and his match. Let's go down to Billy.
Oh, yeah. You already know. We're here with Fili Luna, one of the greatest and one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh players of all time. Fresh off his feature match win using Mermails, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was there anything exciting about the match that you want to talk about?
Yeah, that second game was crazy. I was not expecting that Twin Twister. I thought I had the game in the bag, and that's exactly what can happen in a Yu-Gi-Oh game. 1 minute you have it, the next it's gone. But I thought my deck ran very smoothly. It did exactly what it needed to do. First match, just completely blew him out the water. The third game, just anti-spell lockdown, plus the equip to help me out with anything crazy. Everything went my way, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament.
All right, and you're off to a 3-0 start so far?
Yes, I am.
Nothing better than undefeated. One of the greatest of all time. He's been dueling just as long as I have.
Yep.
Back to you, Jerome and Robbie.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
Out of the water.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you were going to do that, I would be like, the water? Yeah, that's right.
But yeah.
Oh, nice to see him still really enjoying the game and just having a good time. I think we caught the mid-hug there.
Yeah, I mean, Billy and Fili have just known each other for so long, both from Texas,
Texas.
Yeah. So
I heard even our own Dan Posey.
Yeah, also from
used
Texas
to go
originally.
to the same locals as Fili back when he was more of a
I mean,
player.
all the older people know Fili, right? Because he was just been around for so long, winning so much, and he's always had that same attitude. Always super happy just to be here to play, to get to duel.
Positive attitude is, you can't really teach that.
Yeah, no, and especially when it comes to like competitive games, especially like long Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, for example, you have to play 10, 11 rounds before even a top eight. You need to keep that good attitude throughout the whole entire thing because, you know, it's so easy to tilt. It's so easy to let these small things impact you negatively.
Like you said about that second game, like first I thought I had it, and then Twin Twisters, and I didn't.
He just doesn't let that,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
and that's why you see that mentality so rewarding and possibly why he's the only person with 4 championship titles. That's crazy.
Another thing you need if you're going to play a 9 or 10 or 11 round tournament is something special in your deck that gives you an edge. And Billy has some ideas on what that could be for some of our competitors this weekend.